Co. and their academy, and is also the co-founder of ConnecTree. Rizwan's experience in creating an agency and offering digital marketing services to clients across India, UK, and the GCC led him to create Harris & Co. Academy, which focuses on providing premium practical skills to help digital marketing aspirants achieve excellence and be within the top 1% of the industry. Through ConnecTree, he also does podcasts and interviews on relevant topics to educate the youth. To add on to his long list of achievements, Rizwan is also a two-time TEDx speaker, and the impact that he has created has been immense. And we are very happy to have you have you here with us to share your journey and inspire us. So yeah, guys, we would like this session to be interactive. So please listen carefully and ask as many questions as you would like to. So thank you. Please go ahead, Rizwan, and please take us through your journey. Tell us how everything started, where you grew up, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys. I think I'm audible to you. Yeah, okay, all right, great. Good evening, and thank you so much for a warm welcome. And this is not my first time, somehow being around Manipal. I used to, I studied or I did my bachelor's back in Mangalore. I used to be a constant presence in Manipal back then, be it revels, be it with my friends, or be it how I used to hang out and spend my weekends mostly. So it's such a pleasure to be here finally in this kind of genre or in this space. So as Abhay mentioned, I am currently the CEO and co-founder at Harris & Co Academy. I'm basically a computer science engineer. And before I just go on and, just say something, I'll just keep a disclaimer. I don't have any PPTs. I don't use any materials. I just talk. And when I say I just talk, I just basically I think everybody over here is coming from the School of Management from Manipal, right? Yeah. Okay.
Rizmango, I'll give you a brief. We are doing a 5-year integrated course, a 3-year BA management, 2-year MBA. So here we are, three batches are there. So first year MBA and third year BA honors and second year BA management. Yeah.
That's awesome. So somehow everybody who joins today will be associated with any sort of an interest in entrepreneurship or business or anything related to startups and that ecosystem, right? Am I right?
Yeah, true.
All right, awesome. So I think entrepreneurship is a environment game. It's a game of environment. And when I say it's an environment game, entrepreneurs are built with what is around them, be it people, be it the resources they have in any form, in any way. So when I say resources, there is this is basically my 9th business. I have failed 8 businesses before. And I'm just 26. And when I say 8 businesses, I have failed in many ways that I wish that didn't happen or doesn't happen to people ever. And this is something that I'm finally trying to build, but this is one business that I'm finally doing for more than 2 years, around 2 years. And I'm very happy on that. So I wish, people, whenever I go to college, and make sure that, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, it is not taught with PPTs and it is not taught with textbooks, rather with conversations and with discussions that happen. And I, from my experience with associating or with knowing from people who have been to School of Management in Manipal or in the Manipal University, I've seen that, okay, they try to make it that way. So I expect kind of questions and interaction from here as well. I believe that, people, if you have made time on a Friday, 6 to 7 to be here, I think 19 people are here. That means you're somehow, you want to get something out of it, like be it in terms of entrepreneurship, building, team building, whatever it is, right? So let's make it productive, right? So I'll come back. I did my graduation in computer science. I'm an engineer by degree, but I didn't pursue that career. While before even coming to computer science, I did my basic schooling back in Saudi, and I shifted to Kerala in 8th grade and completed my high school and higher secondary back here. I was very good at studies, And obviously, when you're very good at studies, you have set this expectation to the family, and they want you to pursue something and all that. But I had multiple options, and somehow because of a lot of options, I was completely clueless to what to choose. As I was into games and PlayStations, I decided, okay, I'll choose computer science and build an app, like build a game. That was my goal. And as I joined my engineering, I realized the fact that it is not mine. So I wanted to drop out, but somehow, unfortunately, I couldn't. And I completed my engineering, but with very proudly, I can say I completed my engineering uh, without attendance and without being inside the classroom, but rather completely outside the classroom. And the only skill that I took from my engineering days is figuring out things and communication skills. Those are the only two things. I think I've been to Manipal more than being inside classrooms, be it fashion shows, be it sports, arts, be it for eating food or hanging out at like multiple places or being around friends. So that is my greatest achievement in college. And after that, I again the next day that I completed graduation and went home, I took a decision. Okay, I want to do something, or I need some time to figure out what I want to do. That was the basic thing. Coming from a because I am a person who have multiple interests, a lot of interest. I don't know how many of you can relate to it. I have one interest today, one idea today. Tomorrow I have another one. I have a different interest, and I want to build this billion-dollar company today. And tomorrow I want to try out a different thing. Tomorrow, like day after tomorrow, like my friends come with a new thing, and we start building a new project. We build logos, we name a company, we start a company, and we work on that for some time. And it's like, and after 1 or 2 months, you realize, okay, it was a flop of an idea, and you wasted your time, you wasted your money, and all of that. So I didn't wanted to take that risk, but by that time, I actually had done like 6, 7 businesses, and utterly failed in multiple ways, and even my friends. So many of my businesses or my startups, they were with friends, few of them alone. And I used to think that you have to be doing multiple things at a time. And I was a very good multitasker, I used to believe, until I failed at these things. And to overcome my debts and to pay these liabilities that I had, I decided to take a job. And without even knowing what job I was applying to, I saw an ad on Instagram and applied. And they called me for an interview. I gave an interview. I cracked, like after 2 weeks or something, I got a call saying that I cracked that interview and asked, okay, when I can join the company. And that is the first time I'm asking what job I was like, or I had applied to. And that way, they told me that I'm getting into Byju's, and I was supposed to be in the in the student experience department, like being around mentoring people and all that. So I said, okay, chalo, I'll go, give a shot, take a couple of months to figure out what I want to do. And also it's Bangalore, so I can meet a lot of people, network with a lot of people. So that was the intention. So I went to Bangalore just the next week itself, and I joined there. And when I reached there, I realized, okay, it's a very small team. And when I joined, it was back in 2019. Byju's was not even like what we knew at that peak point. It was 20 billion company. So before that it was nothing, and I joined Byju's when it was nothing. The team that I joined was just 28 people strong, and by the time I left it was 5,000 people strong. So I joined back then and realized, okay, I can be a good asset there. And I started to work at different things. I started to teach, I started to train people, I started to be in sales and marketing. Eventually, I made it to leading teams, eventually made it to building their biggest project, biggest product. And at one point, I worked with Baiju, Divya, Vinay, and all of that, like with key stakeholders. And also led this team of 5,000 people that I just mentioned. So I was leading the operations for Byju's, and I did that for 3 years. And by the time I realized, okay, I have actually quite explored how Byju's is. And when I realized, okay, I can build something like Byju's, I learned something. I felt like, okay, there is nothing more left more like for me to learn from that space. So decided, okay, I'll quit. And I quit. And after a couple of months, you see Byju's getting into the downfall and all of that. So it was kind of I felt like I was skeptical about whether it is the right time, but somehow felt okay. I just was that, that last person to get out of that person. So once I left out, I was very sure, okay, I'm not going to work for anyone, because I knew from the beginning itself I cannot work for anyone. Back in college, from my childhood days itself, I knew that I always want to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to solve problems and all that. I want to do something for myself. And obviously there will be like a lot of people over here who want to do something for themselves and build something, let's say, do a problem, lead a team, and go like build something that the world want to see, that you make a difference and all of that. So I wanted to give it like another run at entrepreneurship. But by this time, by the time I was around 1 year around at Byju's, I started creating content. And by the time I was leaving Byju's, I had a little bit of followers. Okay, like I think I don't know, maybe that's just an Instagram. I just had a little bit of followers, and also I had started my podcast, and podcast had good enough viewership, and podcast was coming under a good list, like top 10 at Apple, like Apple Podcast, and top 200 in Spotify and all of that. And I had like couple of hundred thousands of listenerships every month coming in, and I was just very consistent over there. So I had a community built, but I didn't know what product or what, like how I was going to monetize that thing. So while sitting then, I had already tried my luck or my run at digital marketing before all of this, back in the COVID time. And right after this phase of quitting the job, there's this friend of mine who's Haris. He already had a marketing company, and he just texted, hey, I just got to know that you quit Byju's. What's your plan? I said, I don't know. What's the plan? I just want to figure it out. Like, so my plan was to just take a break for a couple of months, and I'll just create videos. I was just in love with creating videos and just talking to people. So I want to know what is the next big thing, and talk with more people, just take my time out, just relax a bit and all of that. But right after, I think a week or something, I just texted and he just asked me, would I like to like come join the team and like work, be a partner and all that. So I said, okay, I'll just see what can be done. So I joined his team and eventually decided, okay, I'll just move completely into the academic side, because somehow all of the businesses that I did came into the academic side or the education industry basically. So that way I reached again into into another business. So we co-founded the company Rizmango Academy, and we started with 2 students now, and just 1 employee and 2 employee basically, including me. And right now we are just a year old as a company, and we are what, 110 members in team, as the staff or the employees are there. Plus we have around like initially we just had 2 students join, the first batch was 2 students. Right now we have around 350 students learning at a time, 15 batches running at a time, and people from 10 12 countries learning at a time. There are 100 plus mentors, and we have 4 schools: design, marketing, coding, design, marketing, tech, and finance, and also have a service side of it. We work with companies like TCS, Walkaroo, Kylie TMT, Audi, Volkswagen, and all of that. And yeah, so that is where we are right now. So it's been a very, I don't know, there is no connection with the journey that I've been through. Everywhere, I follow my own motto, that is jump first and think second. I've been doing that, and I've been always a clueless person and still a clueless person. Sometimes I do sales, sometimes I do marketing, sometimes I do branding, sometimes into lead into operations and all that. But I love all of the fact that what I'm doing. And yeah, just trying to figure out what I want to do next, and what I want to do today is what basically I'm doing. But basically what I am is trying to find problems and solve that in a large scale, so that I can make a difference in people's life. And also there is something that we believe that we are doing. We are not an educational company, that is Rizmango Academy. I'm running basically a storytelling company. So what we're doing is we are getting people to this space or this community, so that we can create a story for them to say in the future. So we're ideally creating more stories and better stories for the future, so that one day when they look back, or when the world look at, they have something they can look at and learn from. So that is basically what I have been doing so far. And as mentioned earlier, I am a TEDx speaker a couple of times, one last time and one this year, last month. And also I've been to Josh Talks and multiple other various platforms and various other features and all that. So yeah, this is basically what I am. And I don't know what I just more want to talk on. I've been giving a lot about, like, saying a lot about myself, and I don't know if it's the right approach. And I kind of like, right now I'm very into AI and sales. These are the two domains that I work mostly on. And these are the two domains that I am doing my learning right now, and constantly upgrading and upskilling myself. Because okay, I have a question, like, how many of you are planning to start a company, or actually have a company here, or have a startup, or have a business here? Can you raise your hand or something? Like, I can see 2, 3 raised hands. Okay, just 4 people. Okay. Okay, all right. Just 4 people. So, all right. So you guys, like, who raised your hand, want to start a company, or already have a company, or had started a company, or had worked on something. Okay, I presume like that. Okay. Be it you are starting your own company, or you're working for someone. Obviously, once you complete your course, or you complete your pursuit over there, you'll be working in a company, or you'll be a part of an organization, right? And you'll be solely responsible, not solely responsible, you'll be mainly responsible for growing and scaling that company, or creating or getting that company from A to B, right? There is this fundamental thing, that is, every company is built upon revenue, right? Every company needs revenue. It needs, like, if it needs to sustain, the basic principle of every company is to sustain for tomorrow. Like, because if it shut down today, it cannot pay salaries, it cannot pay the rent, it cannot pay the dues, it cannot pay the bills, nothing can happen. So revenue should come in, right? And how do revenue come in? Obviously sales, right? So sales is the most integral part of a company, and only through sales a company scales, not apart, like, not in from anything else. And most of the time, sales is seen as a negative thing in every perspective, be it by the founders and all of that. Because I've seen many founders, they just give away the responsibility of sales to the salesperson. They hire a manager or something, and just they take away, like, they take care of everything else apart from sales. That for me is a very wrong approach. That, again, I was that founder. I recently realized the fact and understood the fact once I uh, reached the point. Okay, sales was something that I was neglecting the most, and that has been something that I uh, kind of lack more experience, and I wanted to build that experience. So I've been working on sales and learning sales, and especially marketing have been something a strong point. But marketing alone doesn't do the thing. You have to again work on sales part as well. So I've been working on that. So these are the two hot areas that I'm working on right now. And yeah, I think from what I said, and I don't know, from the perspective that you want to know, if you have questions, or if you want me to speak about something, you can ask. If from my small experience, if I know, I'll share, and we can go on. We can build that connection. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I just wanted to understand your Harrison Co Academy. Um, how different is it from the current edtech players on the market? For example, Udemy and Unacademy or Upgrad, Coursera. How is it different? And like, what's the different approach or philosophy that your business has taken when it came to educating the youth?
That's a good question. So the first and the foremost differentiator there is, we are not any of the platforms. Okay. When you say edtech, the players we know is like Unacademy, Upgrad, you may know like Scaler, and all of these companies. So what we apparently is, we are not focused on any particular domain, but we're focused on just creating jobs. That's a primary, like that is a primary differentiator. And we are not educating people with respect to, let's say, finance or like any specific skills that we usually have seen in college. But we are all our courses are directly connected with the industry. So one gap that I see in the in our education system that I am also a part of is there is a huge gap between the industry and the academics. So even today, we have MBA in HR, finance, and what marketing and all of that, like the core domains, like, right? So for the past, I think, I don't know, like 20, 25, 30 years, it's been the same fields we have, right? I am an MBA dropout, actually. I dropped out after 4 months of joining an MBA, but I took an MBA in strategy and leadership. I had searched for an MBA program in strategy and leadership all across India, but I didn't get it. So I did it from Liverpool University, Liverpool Business School. Okay, but I had to drop out. The reason being, again, there too, I realized the fact whatever was being given to me was already something or already things that I already knew from the experiences of running my companies. So I realized, okay, I didn't want to make the same mistake that I did back in college, that was not dropping out in the third semester itself and trying to do something else. So I just took that guts and just took that decision, okay, I'm going to drop out. Okay. So the primary fact is that our courses doesn't have a textbook, doesn't have a PPT, doesn't have a curriculum. We are basically, what we're doing is we offer multiple type of courses. Like there are some courses which are flagship courses, like 4 months to 6 months, which are not too long in duration, but again not too short in duration. At the same time, there are a few courses which we offer, like just a month, couple of month courses as well, where people just want to upskill. For example, let's say I don't believe in 2024 you need a degree or a certificate to get a job. Okay, and this is not saying, like, this is again a disclaimer. I want people to go to college, and that is not again to get a degree or a certificate, but to learn some other skills. For example, how you talk with people, how you manage your time, how you communicate, how you organize an event, how you use your resources, how you allocate your finances, how you learn your basic life skills. These are the things that I want from colleges to be learned, not marketing, not business, not entrepreneurship, not all of these things. And none of my brothers, I have siblings, none of my siblings, none of my cousins went to college, and neither are they pursuing anything that is being taught in college. They're pursuing their own things. Okay, so from that perspective, I realized the fact that uh, my friends who graduated with me in 2019, 2018, all of that, they're still unemployed by the time I am 4 years, 5 years in my career. So I wanted to bridge that gap between getting a job and having a skill. So how do you do it? I realized, okay, every company, once they hire people, they again have a vigorous training cycle of 6 months, 12 months, and all of that. Like sometimes 3 months, 6 months, and all that. You go to Infosys, they have a training period. Like, they train you with the skill. You go to TCS, you go to IBM. Every company has a training phase. So what we do is, before even getting into there, we kind of give the training here itself as a skill. Like there are people who are learning coding. They come here, they work on projects, they work with companies. That's it. They don't have sessions and nothing. They're just completely into practicals. Uh, am I audible? Okay, all right. So we don't teach, we don't have teachers, we have mentors, and they are people who are working with clients, working with brands, working with companies. So what they do is they just sit together and they have fun with building projects and building businesses and all of that. So that is how we differentiate. And we don't have courses with people, we don't have batches or cohorts with people who are like 200, 300, 400 people. We have limited intakes, like 30. We have short cohorts of 30, 40 people like that. And we only have practitioners. That is the primary thing. When you go to college, you see, like, even when you go to an edtech platforms, I was at Byju's. So what we used to do is, there again, we used to take people who have bachelors in math and all that, and get people to teach here. They don't have they might be freshers and all of that, but they don't have an experience of working in industry. And working in real problems, right? Real world projects. So what we have over here is we have people only from the industry, and they teach from the experience, and we make sure that they, like, when it comes to their experience is something that's standard from the everyone. So currently we are the fastest growing digital marketing agency in India. So we have that reputation, and we have that liberty to help people. Obviously, when you go out, people will look at which companies that you have worked with, uh, which experience, which projects that you worked in. All your portfolio is something that matters. So what we have even, like, as a primary USP is that we can help our students who ever come over here work with our clients, so that our portfolio is their portfolio, and they can show that, okay, they have experience working with these clients, they have experience working with these problems, they have experience working under this requirement, all of that. So it's a win-win for them, and it's a win-win for us as well. So that is how we're bridging the gap. Yeah, so that is the primary difference that we have from the other edtech platforms. And yeah, that is the primary differentiator, if you ask me. Other than that, all other players are doing it in English mostly. We're doing it in the regional language. We're doing it in Malayalam right now. And next we're going into Tamil, then into Kannada, then into Hindi. So we just want to do regional language because that is a huge untapped area where people think, okay, just English is the most widely spoken language, and they just want to offer value in English. And not every person in India know English, even though it is the most acclaimed language. So we want to solve that problem for as many people as possible within their region, like in their regional language. That is the primary differentiator.
Rizwanka, one basic thing I have to ask is like, I saw your Instagram profile. We've been like we know each other for like almost 2 3 years now. So I have a curiosity like, what is that mango in your name? Like Rizmango.
There is nothing particular. I'll say there are actually three reasons. There are. First one, uh, obviously, when it comes to the internet, and also when it comes to growing your profile or any profile, connections and engagement is the most important factor. Like people want, or people should DM you, or people should connect with you. Like having, let's say, 1 million followers and not even 10 messages you're getting a day, that doesn't mean you have a good community or a good quality that is being shared over there, values being shared over there. So I just want to make sure that, I connect with most people. And seeing this name, most people will come. Like, it's an icebreaker. Like, people can ask, most of the time you have this question, what will I start with? What will I ask this person? In my case, I don't have that problem. People come and ask, hey, what is Rizmango? That is the first one. Okay. So I just wanted to, like, reduce that first message barrier so that they can start with that thing. And 6 out of 10 people, first question, every time they start a conversation is, hey, what is mango in this mango? It's that. So it's an icebreaker. And second thing was, it's again a cat. Like, I tried, I don't know, 20 25 different names. I didn't like it. This one, some, like, just trick. It's a small word, and it is striking. It's a very familiar word. People remember that. When it comes to branding, uh, every business, be it your personal brand, be it a large MNC, people want to remember your name. So if it is a huge name, if it is, like, a very difficult thing to remember, it won't strike in your mind. So that it should be short, it should be crisp. There is a saying, I don't know if you have read the book Shoe Dog. There is a reason why they kept the name Nike, right? Initially it was Blue Ribbon. The company was Blue Ribbon, and then they changed it to Nike. And the primary reason was it was 4-letter word, and Phil Knight, it was suggested by a person called as Johnson, who was an employee at Nike. And Phil Knight took it because he read it somewhere that 4-letter words are uh, remembered most by people. So it's a psychology there. So that way people want to remember your name. And the third thing was, if you flip the M, it will be W, right? So it will be Rizwan Go, right? So it's just like, okay, it's just your own reminder to just go, just Rizwan, just go, just go. That's so three reasons primarily. So that's why that name.
Also, one more thing. Like, I already mentioned, like I know you for 2 years, and you're very good at like keeping the connections with people. Like I'm part of your community ConnecTree. Also, I want to know the backstory of why you come up with a community where everybody can open up their ideas, thoughts, everything, and it's a very unique thing. And how you able to manage it, sort of thing.
It's very simple, I'll say my own, like I say my story of that, my side of that. It'll be, I have a team of 12 which manages or which leads ConnecTree. And every 12 of them will be having a different side of it, different reason for why they are part of ConnecTree. Because it's a non-profit, we don't pay anybody anything. It's just purely out of passion, and it's just purely for people. So my side of story is basically, I believe in collaborations. Like if you want to grow 10x, just the answer is collaboration. Okay, like you cannot grow alone. There is nothing called as a solopreneur or self-made millionaire, billionaire, nothing. There is a team behind everyone. Like there is a team behind everything. And also, every $1 million idea is a problem, and it comes from people. Problems only comes from people. So you have to understand from the first level of, like from the, like, just right in front of people itself, like what they are curious about, what they want to be solved, what their ideas about, what they think about a particular thing. And obviously, if you just think about yourself itself, uh, I used to have a million friends. Okay, like I used to have friends everywhere. Like back in college days, my only thing was to build friends and just to connect and network with people. And at one point, you realize you have crazy ideas. You want to do a lot of things, but people you have in your life doesn't understand your ideas. Like you share something, they're like, okay, it doesn't work out, man. Like, why are you doing that? Why do you want to do that? Like, it's just it's just basic thing. Like, people don't understand your ideas. Not everybody will understand your thing. Like you go to your house and you say, mom, like, I want to, like, let's say start a business or do something. I want to be a YouTuber. Like I want to build a content kingdom, and I want to do something, make a difference on that. They won't understand because they're not coming from that generation. They don't have an experience of seeing someone build a career out of this. They basically want good thing for you and security and safety for you, right? They don't understand that. You go to someone who have or who does that, they understand why you want to do it because they have done that, right? You want to start a business, you go to an entrepreneur and say, okay, I want to build a business. An entrepreneur, they help you out, right? You go to someone who pursued a career in culinary and have become a chef, they understand, okay, you want to be a chef, right? So only like people or people who works around it or who have some sort of 5 cents around it understand or gets your idea. So how do you validate your idea is good or not? The answer is very simple. Get people who think like that into a room and talk. Other than that, everything is a bullshit idea, right? So until you prove something is right, everything is wrong. So my answer is simple for that. Okay, get people who think differently into a space and talk. Like be it arts, be it sports, be it book, be it productivity, be it science, be it religion, be it politics, be it whatever it is. If you can take it with an open mind and give it with an open mind, not judge anyone, and create a space where anybody can have any conversation around any topic that values or add value to people. And specifically, also two things. Sorry. You're making sure that you're growing as well as you're helping others grow. You can be part of the community. And I've seen recently, like last week, I saw a marriage happening there. Two people connected and got married. Like engagement is done. So I'm like very proud of that. Like, two people connected through that. So my idea of that is like there are people who have started a business, two people co-founded a business, and that happened through ConnecTree. There are at least 10, 15, 20 jobs that happened from there. There are students who went and joined courses. There is free career counseling happening, free mentorship happening, free relationship happening, free therapy sessions happening. There are like a lot of validation happening, and just I think around 530 or 500, like I think somewhere around 500, 540 people are there in the WhatsApp group, and some thousand people around in the online community. So purely we have kept it. We don't want to scale it. We want to scale it very slow and make sure all the 500 people are active there and they add value. That's it. Like you go and ask something, you get something out of it. Like sometimes I'm clueless about a particular thing. I go and just ask or just talk with someone. I get something out of it, or at least a starting point. So that is my side of it. So just that maybe it's a selfish reason why I started ConnecTree, but the answer is it's just very simple. I want to add value at the same time, gain value, because I believe in one core principle. If you know something, you are responsible to share that, be it whatever it is. Like, but in India, if you look at things, let's say you are a very successful person, you're scared whether someone will steal your idea, whether someone be more successful than you and all that. But I believe in like, if you want to be a millionaire, you have, like, if you want to be a billionaire, you have to make at least 10 people a millionaire. So I believe in a simple principle on that. So I want to create, let's say, 10 millionaire from there so that I can become a billionaire. So the simple reason is that. Yeah. So just collaborate. Like, only can we collaborate, you grow. Like, you cannot grow alone. You need, like, we're social beings. Yeah. Yeah. I think Ritvik has a question.
Yes, sir. Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yeah. Yeah. You can
Yeah.
call me this one.
So,
Yeah.
Irif, yeah. So I'm actually really excited about your idea about how we're liberalizing education, and I think everyone can agree that not only the Indian education system, but the education system in the whole is due for an overhaul. It's not changed since the 20th and the 19th century. But every time that I personally would talk to people in that industry or that field, in fact, my own family are like from the background of professors in academia, and my own sister is also pursuing academia, right? They keep coming back and telling me that, okay, we need a uniform metric to judge people. Like recruiters need some metric to have some theoretical understanding. Like my father would keep coming and telling me, if I need to hire a finance professional, if I need to hire someone from CS, I need to know that they're theoretically understanding of the same, and that's the only metric that unfortunately the industry wants. Sir, so Rizwan, according to like your, how do you convince recruiters that this new education, liberalized education, focusing on life skills and like understanding the industry rather than rote learning is the way to go? And how do you make sure that people coming out of your education institute are marketable and they are able to hold jobs, and the recruiters are saying, okay, we'd rather hire you than someone who has, let's say, theoretical understanding?
Just every change starts from you itself, right? So you are the change. Like, I think it's Gandhi who said, be the change you want to see, right? So the primary thing is, I have said, like we have a team of 110 plus, I think 114 or something today. uh, so out of this 114, none of them have been hired looking at their degrees, their certificates, where they've graduated from, what they've graduated, nothing. Like, everybody have been looked upon just one thing, whether they know what they're doing and are they aligned to the mission that we are in, like the vision that we have. Just two simple things. And we had just made sure, okay, we do that first so that we can say, okay, this happened, this works. So from my current networking experience and looking at people who already are in the business, I also understand, okay, everybody wants the same thing. Like, they nowadays, like, people don't, like, they don't want people, just because of their credentials. They want people who are actual like problem solvers. Like, last week, not last week, this week, like on Monday, I met a person. I went to Toronto to take a session in a college. Okay, it was like a very productive session, and I was very happy. I was in a very good mood, and there is this person, again, a part of ConnecTree. I didn't know he was part of ConnecTree, so he texted me like, I am Toronto, I wanted to meet you. Can we talk? So I said, yeah, like, let's catch up. And he took me out for a coffee, and he said me, like, he was just 20 years old, 12th dropout basically. He didn't go to college. He in 12th he learned coding, and by the time he was around 18, like at the end of 18, he just sent, I don't know, like, like some tens of messages on LinkedIn, and landed a job with a company as a developer. Okay. And he's been working there for 2 years now. And the first job offer he got, which he rejected, was 8 LPA. Okay. And he took that 8 LPA offer letter and gave it to another company so that he get more of that. And he landed his job. And now, when I met him, he had a car, and he has a India Book of Record for owning the some, like, I don't know which model of the Tata car. The youngest person to ever hold that car with his own money was this guy. Okay, he don't have a degree, he don't have a certificate, he don't have any graduation, he don't have any qualification, nothing. And he worked with the Canadian, uh, like, he's working with the Canadian government's project for a West Bengal company, and he's leading that software department. Okay, and he's working on the inventory management, something solely he does that. Okay, so that again was a, like, out of the blue prove for me, okay, this happens, this works, right? So from the model that we are working in, so as I said, we have around in our flagship courses, we have around 600, 700 alumnus, right? And we have almost 70 to 80% of them working in some companies, okay? And rest of them, they work on their own companies or they do something on their own, okay? Hardly 6 to 7% of them are not doing anything, either going for higher studies or they want to take a break or something like that. But rest of them, they're all employable, okay? So just take numbers into the fact. There are 15 lakh engineers that comes out on an average every year, and there are hardly 2 lakh jobs. Okay. And then they go, like these people, like the 13, 14 lakh people, they think, okay, if you do an MTech, you get a better chance of getting a job. They go do an MTech, and the employment rate of MTech is less than 60%. Okay, not employment rate, unemployment rate of MTech is less than 60%. More than 60% of them are unemployed or underpaid, right? And then again, they come into these institutes and all of that, and they just kind of upskill. So post that they get a job, right? So how do you convince someone to, okay, this is the way? The answer is very simple. It's just that it's in the hands of every company, I guess, and also as us individuals to educate people as well, because like a lot has changed. Like, my parents, I was very basically surprised to see that, they don't want my brother to go to college. Like, he wanted to be a footballer, so they were like, okay, go pursue that. And there is my other cousin, like my mom's sister's son. He didn't go to college. He wanted to work for some time and start a business. Now, not last month, like last week, he went to Malaysia to kick off his business. So it's just basically fundamentally a problem of awareness. Like, as I said, every new idea is wrong or every new concept is wrong until you prove it, okay, it is not wrong. Because the problem is, we are human beings, we are Homo sapiens, and our mind only works in a way that, and like we are very, very into safety and comfort. Until and unless you prove it is safe and comfortable, then it is a wrong thing. So it won't be like, obviously the education system is not going to change. Like, in, let's say, in another century, it won't change. Like, it would be like a lot of change, like a lot of new things might come in, but the way we do education right now, it won't change. And because of that, again, companies like us, like let's say edtech like us, would survive, because all these graduates who are coming out without any practical experience and industry experience, they come in, they get in the practical experience from people like us, right? So that is the huge problem, the huge gap that is there in the current education system. But if you go to Canada, there every course is connected with the industry. If there is no demand or there is no vacancy for a particular job, they don't run that courses in any of the universities. So they have that kind of a segment there, like a certain thing there. So even here we can do that. Like, there are like a lot of industry tie-ups and things that we can do. I've seen like a lot of integrations that has happened. When you look at why people go to Manipal, not into some other colleges, right? Why do you pay for an MBA that much in Manipal when like 3x or 4x when compared to some other tier 3 or tier 4 colleges? The answer is very simple. There are a lot more integrations. There are a lot more activations. There are a lot more things that they can experience being around them. The answer is very simple. So it's just that it's a status game. And if you can prove that, okay, there is a status in it, then it is very simple. Like, we Indians are very into status. So that is the whole thing. So if you can prove them, then it is fine. How do you prove it? You ask me. It's a problem of awareness. Nobody will come and do it for you. You just have to do it for yourself if you want to pursue that. There is no one answer, like one word answer for that. But the smallest idea is, the smallest thing is, if you go to older people, they won't understand. Some people may, especially when I say some people may, people who are in a lot more comfortable space, not like, who are, let's say, in an above average or above middle class space and above, they might understand. Beyond that, people won't, because 90% of India actually lives under 10,000 rupees a month, and the basic necessity, more than following passion, is to put food on table. So just doing that is not an easy thing. And convincing that is not an easy thing. So if you want to do something for yourself, you have to do it and then say, okay, mama or papa, I've done that. Or mama or papa, you can do it. Until and unless that, they won't understand. Even you cannot say that, because out of this 150 crores of people, 135 crores of people, they are struggling to put food on table. So it's a huge majority, and they won't understand. They couldn't understand, because hunger is the language they understand and not anything else.
So, Rizwan, I have one question. So, in this age, you build a personal brand. You have 70K plus followers on Instagram, YouTube, everything. So, you're known to people and you build that. So, as a student who is stepping out of, like, after education, stepping out of the outer world, so what would be the step-by-step guide for a person who want to be in this content game, and how to be relevant, and how to build a personal brand for?
I would say college is the best time to build your brand, because let's say you're doing a 5-year course, or like a 3-year course, or a 2-year course, you have ample time to have fun, or you basically have fun in college, a lot more fun. Once you're out, once the moment you start getting your first paycheck, or your first pay slip, or your first 100 rupees, or first 1 rupee, problems will start coming in. Till then, you don't have problems, you don't have responsibilities. Okay. The day you earn your first salary or your first pay slip, responsibilities will start coming to you, and everything is about responsibility only. Till then, you don't have to think about that. Like most people, not everyone, but again, there are some people, majority of people are fortunate enough to not think about responsibilities at home and just focus on studies. Like if you're able to go to college, 10, like let's say 10 to 15% of people, they work and go to college. They do the hard way. But most people not. 90%, like 80, 85% of the people, they do it not that way. So the best thing you can do in college is to build one particular skill, that is to talk. And not just talk in a way that people understand, like in a way that you can communicate a particular idea, you can convince someone, you can understand whether that person understood what you said or not. You can just basically do that. Like you have hundreds of thousands of people around you, especially you go to Manipal, it's like a town, it's not a college, right? It's basically what it's a township, right? So you have people from various nationalities and various areas, and you have the liberty to understand people from different demographies and different psychographies, right? So what you can do there is just go and at least talk with people and document that. Even I go to, like every college I go to, I say, just go to LinkedIn and write, okay, today I went to this class, I learned this, I learned that. Just use it as a diary, use it as a journal. Okay. Or if you don't want to do it on LinkedIn, just start a blog on, let's say, WordPress or Blogger or Substack or Medium or something, and start journaling your days, right? So what happened there is you learn a lot more skills than everybody else. It's very easy to stand out. It's very, very easy to stand out. And the competition is very, very easy these days, because 99.99% of people are unfocused and they have different focus. But the easiest way to, like, and again, they cannot communicate as well. If you can communicate better, you're already different from everyone else, right? And your confidence increases. And once you start writing, once you start posting, once you start publishing, once you start looking at stories, once you start clicking pictures, once you start clicking, taking videos, what happens there is basically uh, you're improving the way how you look at the world and how you tell that to people. You're basically solving a problem for someone, right? Everybody is a producer. If you look at the industry, like, someone who's working in the operation, someone who's working in a sales, everybody is producing something. It could be sales, it could be an ad copy, it could be a photograph, it could be a product, something, right? So you're basically becoming a better problem solver there by communicating, just by communicating, right? So that is the best skill. So for that to happen, you have to, I think, start from college itself. So that's the one right thing that I did. I learned how to talk, and I learned how to understand people so that I can convince them. So I learned sales there. So as I said, everything starts basically from convincing. It's persuasion, right? So it's a necessity these days how to persuade if you want to basically sustain on a higher level these days. So just start by documenting. And before you run out, if you have a basic community, let's say of 200 people or 2000 people, or let's say 10,000 people, or like 50,000 people, companies want you. One thing, because you can add much more value, you can lead a team, you're already proven, you know how to convince people. That means you're a leader. You can manage things, you can manage multiple responsibilities. You have learned soft skills, which 99.999% of students or graduates in India lacks. You're already different. And also you have proven to the employer or the company that you are a hardworking person and you know how to put out to the world and innovate and experiment and all of that. So that is why in college you should do that. And why this matters. See, everything is a game of perception. Uh, I have, as I said, Wajid said, 70, I don't know, 70K something followers. I don't know, like 99% of the people, I don't know about that. And I haven't posted a content or like the kind of content that I've been posting for the past 6 to 1 year, like 6 months to 1 year. I haven't done that. But what I've been doing is I've been just documenting. It's been my diary. If you go to my profile, you'll see what are the latest updates, the latest things that I've been doing, right? And what it does is it just creates a perception. Okay, this person is like big reputed person, such and such, this and this. If I want something around it, I can go and ask him that. So people start to respect you. People start to give out with opportunities. People start to pitch you for investments, business opportunities, for talking things, and basically you're creating opportunities for yourself. So, and again, when it comes to LinkedIn, I am not focused on Instagram right now. I'm much more focused on like LinkedIn right now, because that is where the actual power like is, and people with power is. So that is a space there. So coming to Ajit's questions, before even you get out of college, make sure you're doing something around it. Even if it is just one posted like a week or one post a month, that matters, because that improves you a lot. So master that skill of communicating in college itself. And there is this one more thing also. If you want to be confident, okay, 99% of the people or 100% of people over here want to be more confident, right? Do I agree? Yeah, everybody want to be confident at what you do, right? And everybody think, okay, I want to be a confident person in HR. I want to be confident in finance. I want to be confident in operations. I want to be confident in so and so, whatever it is, right? The area you work in. It might be very difficult for you to be confident in 6 months or 3 years or something, because it takes a lot of experience to be confident at a particular skill you have. But there is a shortcut for that. That is, one thing you do is directly affecting other thing you do. Okay. If you're someone who makes bed every day, or you keep your or you are like punctual to classrooms, the chances are your room might be clean, or your room might be a little more structured. Okay, if you're someone uh, who like to arrange things a certain way, that habit or that particular skill would be reflecting the other things as well. So if you're confident at one space, let's say you might have noticed this thing. If you start working out, your body start to look good, you automatically feel good at everything else you do as well. The answer is very simple. Logic is very simple. One thing affects everything else. So you get better at communication, everything else get better as well. You be confident in communicating things, you become confident, everything else you do as well. So that is the best thing you can do in college. Just don't study textbooks, just study people. Yeah.
So I just had a sorry, Rizwan, I just had a question, right? So this is actually a bit personal also, because considering the fact that we still had 8, 9 businesses, you've taken a business idea forward, right? And also very interesting point about validation of ideas. So I've had a personal experience where my idea was validated, where people were saying, okay, you know what, we have fund, we want to fund you, we want to see you where you will take this to the next level. But I was but all that validation seemed great. I was like, okay, I finally come up with an idea that's worth it, that people are acknowledging, people are, liking it. But after that, I hit one of the biggest roadblocks ever, because I was like, I have this idea. I have people who like this idea, but where do I go now? Right. So I have either I go for resources in college, which also is a lengthy process. If incubations are a lengthy process, there incubation, in my experience, has always been that they always have a niche. Manipal always focuses on tech tech-based incubation or something, coming up with something whole new altogether, but not leveraging existing models, right? And my startup idea, it was not nothing new. It was just solving an institutional void, solving a very human problem of splitting bills, right? So how do how do I come across that challenge? After that, where do I go for resources? Who do I ask for help? And how do I get this idea at least working 10%?
Uh, the the biggest factors, or my greatest understanding is 9 out of 10 times you don't need any of the resources you just said to run a business or start a business. Okay, so there are different stages of starting a business. Most people, what does is like, as Ritvik said, like you have an idea and you go to some person who have money. There are hundreds of thousands of people who have money and they just want to make more money. Okay, and you give them an idea, they feel like, okay, this is like the next big thing. They're ready to fund you. Okay, but you don't know right now, like even before starting a business, people are there to fund millions of billions of dollars. Okay, it's just they want to make more money. Just that's a simple thing. It's just a simple capitalistic mindset, right? But as a problem solver, which like every entrepreneur, I believe, is a problem solver first and everything else second. Okay, so as a problem solver, you just need to know whether that is an actual problem. Most entrepreneurs or most people who build a business doesn't know whether that idea works or not. So then comes a question: how do you know whether an idea works before you start a business? This is again a question, right? Only if you start a business, you start going to people, you know whether that business works or not, right? Until and unless you get a first sale or people are there to make an actual first payment, it is not a good idea. It is a wrong idea. So how do you validate an idea? So as I said, I had all these ideas which didn't work out in the beginning. If I were again to start again today, I will first validate whether that idea is scalable, that whether the people actually wants the problem to be solved. So how do you do that? You actually need 0 rupees to do that, like $0 to do that. Okay, there comes, okay, in my case, I have a following, right? I have people, enough people, or you have a community. Let's say someone who doesn't have following, who doesn't have a community, nothing. So what you can do is you can just say, like go to, let's say 50 people, say, hey, I'm building this particular, I have this particular idea. Okay, so and so idea, I'm building this app, or I'm building this particular business, or I have this particular product, or I have this particular service, or I have this particular something. Would you like to join a WhatsApp group to know more about it? Okay, so let's say out of this 50 people, 20 people join. What did you get? These are called as leads. Okay, so every business is downstream from lead. You have more lead, your business grows. The more leads you get, the more sales you get. The more sales you get, the business grows. Simple. Okay, so first rule, let's say you get 20 people into a WhatsApp group, you start pushing content, or you start asking more questions from people. Like you don't know whether, even if you don't know the exact idea of things you want, you start asking people. Okay, you join the group, right? 50 people, like 20 people are there, you join the group. So what do you want this problem to be? Like, how do you want this problem to be solved? What do you expect? How much would you pay? All of that. Then you think, okay, start thinking, okay, I had this idea. Now I'm refining that idea into something, and you made a particular new version of that idea, a better version of that idea. And you understood, okay, what people are willing to pay and all of that. Now you got like a starting a price point or a cost or something. Think that you have a product as well in your mind, right? Then you go into that, okay, I have the solution for that. You had this problem and I have the solution. Are you ready to buy that? Let's say one person buys it. Like out of 20 people, out of 20 people, one person buys that. Is 5% conversion is that, right? So 5% is huge, right? That means if 100 people are there, 5 people will buy that. You did this with 20 people, one sale happened. Now you do this with 100 people. You say, okay, I'm hosting a webinar, okay, on this particular thing. It's a free webinar, just 30 minutes. Would you like to join? Okay, and you pass this message to friends and you ask people to forward this to other groups and all of that. And you get another 20, 30 people come into a webinar. And you do a pitch, like not a pitch, basically you just tell them about your product, what the solution you offer and all that. And they understand, this is a problem that I have and this can solve it. You get leads. Again, it's a validation. It works, right? So these are free ways how you can validate your idea. If you get a sale, that means yes, it's a actual pain point, right? You get a second sale, that is again validated. So let's say you get 5 sales, that means it's a business now. Okay, you get 3 sales or 5 sales, it's a business now. Until unless you get a sale, it's not a business, it's just a concept. Okay, so you do that sales, then now you're clear, okay, it's a business now. Next what? Next, your role is to get more sales, more leads. So how do you get more leads? How do you get more sales? You need to create more awareness about your product. So you have to market. So how do you market? You have money, you go to an agency, you set up people and all that. If you don't have money, what do? You start writing about it, you start talking about it, you start taking pictures about it, you start posting it on Instagram, you start posting it on LinkedIn, you start posting it on Twitter, YouTube. Where is your target audience? Let's say your product is a very Gen Z thing. You go to Instagram because that is where Gen Z is there, right? Or millennials are there. Let's say your product is for founders. It's like it's something that solves an enterprise problem. You go to LinkedIn or Twitter, right? So you start creating content, or you start producing awareness about you something. Then you start writing, you start, WhatsApp is the biggest, again, like avoided space. You start posting status, you start creating broadcast messages and all that. You start messaging people, you start creating an email list, ask people to sign up for that. And you just, again, nurture more people, get more leads, right? Let's say you get 10-15 leads, or like, and 10-15 sales a month and all that. You get to a point where, okay, you're not getting sales to, you're hardly getting sales. Once you're hardly getting sales, your next point should be to hire your first person, right? So which is the most biggest problem you have? You get someone for that. Let's say your biggest problem is to managing leads. So you get someone, let's say a co-founder or someone, like however you want, you get your first employee, and their job is to help you with this particular thing. So initially you are doing all the part, right? So now a little bit of that is given to someone. That person, if you're doing 10 leads a day, or you're getting 10 you're cold messaging 10 people a day, two together you're doing 20 messages a day, then you expect a little bit more sales. At a point, you slowly figure out where you want to do it, and at a point you realize, okay, this is an actual business model. This problem is big enough so that I can solve problems for millions of people. Then what you can do? At that point you realize, okay, let's say I want to go to, like, I need to do this faster, or my business is actually generating revenue. That means, okay, I can do it on my own. Otherwise, I need more revenue, I need more funds, I need to set up offices, I need to do this and all that. You take funds from outside. So the first area is that before even going to funding, incubation, all of that, you have to make sure that it's a business idea. So you validate your idea. You can do that for free. Like, there are I don't know, like, sometimes you even see on WhatsApp, this is for a research purpose. Can you fill this form, Google form and all that? What do you think that is? Those are done by people like us, like marketers. We just understand, okay, there is this client of us. We want to know whether that problem is actually solvable, like scalable. We just push out, we try to get 500 people to sign up and give us all the data. Whether data we want, we validate our idea, understand the business problems, and create a product around it or products around it so that they can give that solution to people. So the bigger the problem is, the bigger the audience is for that, the bigger the business is. Simple as that. So now if I'm starting again, all the 8 ideas, I'll first see whether that idea is executable, whether the people actually want it, so that I can avoid the problem of wasting my time, money, resource, everything. Simple as that. And also, there are different points. First point, it is, as a founder or as an entrepreneur, it is your hustle phase. Okay, like you are the one who does everything. You do sales, you do operations, you do finances, you do mergers, you do ledgers, you do everything. Like you do, like whatever you name it, you do everything. Then slowly you start to bring in people, because you should, or you outsource. Okay, let's say you outsource marketing, you outsource finance, you outsource everything, whatever it is, you outsource. However it is, you have people working for something that you want. Okay, you go from let's say 0 to 5 lakh or 2 lakh or 10 lakh a month. This time you are closely working in every departments. Okay, now you have to go from, let's say, 10 lakh a month or 15 lakh a month or 20 lakh a month to 1 CR or 2 CR or 3 CR a month, or we'll talk in terms of dollars. 0 to, let's say, 10K a month, you are doing everything. Then slowly 10K to 100K, you slowly delegate a little bit more work. You have a little bit more team members coming in. You'll be having, let's say, 10, 15 people. You're working for you, like 20 people max working for you. Then 100 to 1 million. Your job is not to work at anything. Your job is to coordinate things. Eventually, your job as a founder is to find good people, smarter than you, better than you, great than you, and let them do the job. And you are the orchestrator there. And basically, your job is to bring leads. That is what I'm doing. Like, why do you think, like, I'm doing, like, I'm coming here and talking, right? I'm building like a personal brand. I'm talking in the LinkedIn, all that. Like, I've set a team. They are best at what they do, and they're doing that thing. My job as a founder is to create more awareness to the company that I own, and to create more leads, to get more people to know about it and all that. So eventually things change, and you need different skill sets at different points of the business. It's not the same. You need different mentors and different inspirations and different places and different visions at every point. It changes, but initially it's you validate your idea, create a first sale, create 10 sales, hire the first person, double the sales, triple the sales, just goes on and on. That's it.
Thank you. That actually gave me a bit of like a spark, at least where to start, at least from that, laggard phase. I have a direction to go. But I had also another interview. You had mentioned in the beginning that you're a big fan of AI. And I actually, before 2019, 2018, AI was a word that was only used by data scientists. Now it's a household name, and ChatGPT is making everyone go crazy. But with some of the people that I've spoken to, and they're actually constantly coming and telling me that ChatGPT is the surface of what AI is going to change in the whole world and the whole startup industry and everything. And I just wondered if you could shed some light on that. What do they mean? But in the entrepreneurship field, everyone is going crazy for saying, "Are you AI enabled? I'll fund you. Are you AI enabled?" Or like, what more is AI going to change apart from Chat GPT and copying essays and answers from college? So
Uh, yeah, from as someone who have taught more than 1,000 people in AI, I can say as the exact same thing what you just took. AI is just a buzzword in the market right now for money. That's it. Okay, right now. Okay, but at the same time, it has its own constraints, goods and bads as well. There are different sides as well. But AI have been in the market since, or AI have been in the machine since 1960s. Okay, uh, from the fourth gen computers we have, since then AI have been there. Like it's been like every machine have been some capability. Now ChatGPT was, or why it is being a talk of the town, is basically because it's been open to public. Till then it was not. It was very expensive and only available as a resource for people who had like only for big enterprises. That's it. Now ChatGPT, yes, it is just a surface. Okay, the reason being, uh, you give something, get an output, and that too, it is a stored output. Okay, until and unless you're using ChatGPT 4 or plus, you're not having any access to internet. Only from the training data that they have fed or that they given or stored in ChatGPT, that is only the thing that you're getting. Okay, so it's just what a database retrieval kind of a thing. Basically, a database access you're getting from ChatGPT. There are millions of other applications of AI. And when you think of AI, everybody thinks of tools. But AI basically starts with data. As you said, data scientists only used to use it. Even today, like AI is all about data and analytics and machine, like, even before machine learning comes data, processing and all that. So if they ask you whether it is AI enabled, there are hundreds of tools that is available. The answer is, for a business, it is always important to streamline and make the systems effective more than efficient. So for that, AI helps. So I'll say just don't fall into the trap of AI, this buzzword AI. There are hundreds of things you can do. Obviously, as an entrepreneur, if there is a way that I can cut down cost of operation, I can think of it. Okay, but you cannot take away the human element. I will never stop hiring. I will always hire. and I'll hire people who can again use different tools to streamline their process so that I get best results. Okay, so it won't be like, okay, I'll have AI, because entrepreneurship is a team game. Like, not even entrepreneurship, you take any problem in the human race, like human history as a human race, everything was a teamwork. With AI, you cannot do the teamwork. Like, it's just single entities, right? It do one thing as a whole. But when 10 people come in and when they're looking at the same problem, there are not 10 perspectives coming in, but 10 square or 10 raised to n perspectives coming. That I don't think AI can do. But with AI, maybe they can, from 10 square, they can go to 10 cube or 10 raised to 4 perspectives can come. So it's just that you can use tools, make it simpler, and create better products and better results and better solutions. Other than that, it's just, you don't take it to that, but don't neglect it as well. Learn how to implement it and how to bring it to your systems and bring it to your routines, because it saves a lot of cost. It solves a lot of mistakes. It does a lot of work, and it makes it very faster. Like, you can, like, we are living in a generation where earlier it used to be like the average age of a millionaire used to be in 50s. 56, 57 was the age. Like, people work till 40, 45. Then they start a company. And then they take another 10, 15 years to be a millionaire. Now in 2024, you see, like, 21, 22-year-olds, like 25-year-olds who are millionaires. Like the age has reduced, right? As we go on, it will again reduce. You'll see like 9-year-old, 10-year-old millionaires later on. I don't know. Maybe you'll see, right? Because there is access to information, there is access to tools, there are access to hundreds of things that was not available back then. We are living in a much more updated society. We are living in a much more updated world, right? So you have access to all of this. Use it as a tool. That is the thing. Like, use it as a tool, and also you have to understand AI doesn't have brain, so we have brains. So let's use our brains to use these tools. That's it.
Yes, sir. So it's a hypothesis tool. In fact, the age-old debate with AI going to change jobs, or that's one thing that many people are scared
Yes,
about,
yes.
but they're not
It
realizing it
definitely,
just has
yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
definitely will change jobs. It will change jobs. There are lakhs of jobs which AI is taking away, like, conventional jobs which AI is taking away. At the same time, there are millions of jobs being created as well because of AI, right? So it's a new part that has been there. So you have to be updated, you have to be upskilled, you have to evolve. Like, not just AI. Tech is evolving, everything is evolving. You also have to evolve, right? You cannot be stagnant, you cannot just stay there. So obviously, the way we work, the way companies operate, everything is going to change. uh, there will come, if you ask me, if you want to build in India like $1 million a year company, you may need, if it's not in tech, as Ritvik said, like, Manipal looks for tech products. The answer is very simple. Tech need very less team. Resources is less. It can scale fast if it's a good product. That is why the profitability, it's a J curve business. J means initially you spend something, then it scales up. Okay, it shoots. Okay. But when it comes to service or other thing, you need more people. Like, human resources is much more needed. If, let's say, in tech you need 8 people or 10 people to scale a business to $1 million, in service industry you may need 50 people to scale that. But eventually you will see this 8 people in tech will reduce to 2 or 4 people. In service, it may reduce to 25 or 30 people. So that will what AI do that. That will be done with AI with, let's say, at least 1/10 or 1/20th of the cost that cost right now. So things will change.
That's true. That's great, sir. With on that note, also, I would like to open the platform for all the other students to ask because again, it's a great opportunity. A lot of doubts are being cleared, a lot of challenges are being broken. So on that note, anyone else wants to ask some questions, please go ahead. Okay. So on that note, I would like to with give a few concluding statements, Rizwan, if you don't mind. I think this was a really great session. Most so importantly, it was actually a lot very insightful because it's very rare for us students, especially right now in this academic industry with no exposure or corporate exposure, to have to talk to someone who's in that industry and guiding us through the same, right? We don't have people who will come and support entrepreneurship as much as you are, and also revitalizing and changing the education system as you are. So it was a great session. I personally, and I'm sure everyone benefited from it. And I would also graciously like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come talk to our students and give them a little bit of ray of hope and light of hope to say that, okay, entrepreneurship is the way to go. And there's so many great things that's happening right now. And I think the value of this will certainly show in the students much later to come and the perspective that they will carry soon to the future. On that note, thank you so much for joining our podcast session, Rizwan. And the thank extends beyond of all of SMFC committee. I would like to thank Abdul and the whole SMFC. Abdul been the the forefront for this session, constantly inviting us, and we would not have been able to have this session also without his involvement and with also you graciously offering your time. So thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. I'll just add a point there. I don't know whether it's a rectification. I wouldn't say entrepreneurship is the way. Don't look at entrepreneurship as the only way. Just look at problem solving as a way. Whether you're working for a company or you are running a company, just to make sure that you're solving problems. That's it. So you don't need to be an entrepreneur to solve a problem. You can be an employee as well. And problem solvers gets rewarded. That's where the magic is. Like you solve problems, you solve bigger problems, the better the reward is. You solve small problems, the smaller the reward is, and take risks. The better the risk, the better the reward. Yeah. Thank you. So thank you so much, and thank you Wajid, and thank you Ritik, and thank you to the whole committee. And it was such a pleasure, and I just loved it. I'm looking forward to having conversations some other time. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.